Hi everyone, it's Monday, the 18th day of February. Thank you for being a part of Your News Today. We have a lot of news to cover this evening, and that will include what appears to be a gun-related accident that sent a Magoffin County man to the hospital in surgery right about now after speaking to family just before sitting down with you. An update on that. I've got some sporting news tonight, but it's not basketball. Of course, that will be the theme the rest of the week as the district tournament tips off tonight at Paintsville. Girls action tonight, both games. Boys action tomorrow night. That will be Paintsville and Sheldon Clark, and then the Magoffin County Hornets and Central will play Wednesday. We've also got a couple of arrests, a baseball-sized rock of crystal meth. All the other sports-related story, an update on how the Conley racing team did at the Lights Out event down in the south of Georgia, and we'll wrap up indictments that I started them last week by the Johnson County Grand Jury. A couple of things that we'll talk about elsewhere throughout the program. That will be the rain, flooding, possibly an issue, as we're looking at a couple of inches, maybe even a bit more, 2 to 3 inches possible in total rainfall throughout the week as not one, but several different disturbances are rolling through, causing a lot of moisture. We'll talk about that in more detail. Just a quick update as we start off the program tonight. A couple of different school districts closed today. Some of the rest of the week. Actually, Floyd County schools were called off today due to flu-like illnesses. They called off classes today. Yesterday, I don't have the word right now on the rest of the week, but I do know that Lawrence County has called off school for the rest of the week, all of the week. The district releasing students 2 hours early today and then being out the rest of the week due to flu and flu-like illnesses in Lawrence County. Later on in the week, we'll get an update and find out how Magoffin and Johnson County schools are faring attendance-wise, but a lot of kids and adults homesick. I'm certainly well aware of that. I've got a kid, Andrew, who's been home, spent several days last week at home, and was able to go back to school today. So more on all that in just a few moments. More on the rain and the impacts from the moderate to heavy rainfall in just a few moments. I have cameras tonight in Magoffin County, the Sayersville City Council meeting started at 6:30. Magoffin County Fiscal Court is going to be tomorrow afternoon. The Magoffin County Board of Education tomorrow evening as well. And also, remember, transportation cabinet officials are going to be in Magoffin County as part of the Fiscal Court meeting tomorrow, part of their statewide listening tour. So look for all of that and much more news to come later on in the week, starting as soon as tomorrow. Let me wrap up a segment that I began last week as we started covering the most recent indictments returned by the Johnson County Grand Jury. Real quickly, we'll round out the rest of those this evening, beginning with the Johnson County man accused of sexual abuse against a child under the age of 12 and now lodged in the Big Sandy Jail. Michael Bundren of East Point in Johnson County was indicted on a count of sexual abuse in the first degree. The grand jury is saying that on or around October the 29th of last year, he subjected a child under the age of 12 to sexual contact. The case was brought before the Johnson County Grand Jury by Trooper Joseph Weddington of Post 9. 2 people were said to be complicit with each other in the theft of a motorcycle and in possession of drugs and paraphernalia. Jeremy Workman of Hager Hill and Christian Conley, also known as Christian Conley Loudermilt of Hager Hill as well. This past November the 5th, were said to have taken a motorcycle, a blue Suzuki, valued at more than $3,300 from another Hager Hill residence and found to be in possession of methamphetamine, needles, baggies, a set of scales, and together they tried to flee or evade the state police upon being apprehended. Workman is also indicted on account of being a persistent felony offender in the second degree because he has 1 prior felony. Conley Loudermilt is indicted for being a persistent felony offender in the first degree for having 2 prior felonies. Kathy Muncy of Inez was named in 2 separate indictments, both for burglary in the third degree. Both, alleges the grand jury, for incidents, one in September and one in November of last year when she went into the Walmart with the intent to rob the store after previously being banned from the facility for similar crimes. She faces 2 counts of burglary in the third degree for the 2 indictments. Ricky Fletcher of Van Leer was also indicted on burglary in the third degree and theft by unlawful taking for theft at the Paintsville Walmart. On September the 30th, they say that he went into Walmart of Paintsville after previously being banned from the facility and proceeded to steal fishing rods and lures and lines and tackle totaling more than $500. The grand jury charges that on January the 15th of this year, Kayla Dingus of Prestonsburg went into the Paintsville Walmart and stole $510 worth of merchandise, therefore indicted on a count of theft by unlawful taking. Amber Barwick of Paintsville was indicted for criminal mischief in the first degree, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct in the second, and public intoxication of drugs after going into the Paintsville Walmart this past December the 3rd while being under the influence and resisting arrest, and then causing about $1,000 in damages to the Walmart store. William Tomlin, Kayla Jones, and Paul Brooks, all from Johnson County, were indicted on possession of a controlled substance in the first degree and possession of drug paraphernalia. They were said to have been complicit with each other upon being in possession of methamphetamine and an altered straw after being arrested by the Paintsville Police Department. Elija Owens of Paintsville was indicted for possession of meth and possession of drug paraphernalia. These two people were indicted on multiple counts of trafficking in the first degree, that being methamphetamine, a total of 5 counts each for Stephen Lumpkins of Oil Springs and Summer Conley of Oil Springs. They were said to have been trafficking in methamphetamine, a quantity over 2 grams, on several different occasions. August the 1st of 2018, August the 9th, August the 16th, September the 4th, and September the 10th. Clarissa Dalton of Sitka was indicted for being in possession of methamphetamine, altered pipes, digital scales, and 3 butane lighters. And Jason Millette, who was named in an earlier indictment that I covered Friday with the attempted escape or the escape of the transport officer after being taken from the Big Sandy Jail to the Johnson County Justice Center, was also named in another indictment. In this indictment, he was named alongside Christopher Perkins and Michael T. Grimm, all indicted for tampering with physical evidence, possession of a controlled substance in the third degree, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Edward Lloyd Kimbler of Sitka and Charles E. Hall were both indicted on possession charges, possession in the first for being in possession of methamphetamine, and possession of paraphernalia for being in possession of a syringe. Fred Butcher and Jessica Spradlin of Offutt were said to have been in complicity with each other and indicted as such on charges of possession of methamphetamine, possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, 2 counts actually, 1 for oxycodone, 1 for hydrocodone, and for possession of marijuana. Darren Davis of Staffordsville was indicted on possession of methamphetamine and possession of Valium. Tommy J. Minix of Sagersville was indicted for trafficking in methamphetamine. He was arrested and found to be in possession of methamphetamine, digital scales, baggies, almost $500 in cash as well. It also has a firearm enhancement because he was found to be in possession of a .380 handgun too. Homer Castle of Boone's Camp was indicted on bail jumping in the first degree for failure to appear in court at an arraignment hearing. Dustin Tackett of Mealy was indicted for bail jumping after he failed to show up for sentencing. Cristin Cook of Paintsville was indicted for bail jumping for failure to appear in court at a pretrial conference. John Byers of Ohio indicted for bail jumping for not appearing in court. Jennifer Blevins of Paintsville indicted for bail jumping for failure to appear in court. And Michael A. Blevins, with the last known address of Trotwood, Ohio, was named in 2 separate indictments for flagrant non-support, one owing the Kentucky foster care system more than $6,400, the other owing a female more than $19,000. There was also a Lydia Lafferty of Hager Hill who was indicted for possession of meth and possession of drug paraphernalia, of which I had no photograph to go along with tonight's report. I'll be right back with the rest of our local headlines after this. Whether it's game time, family time, or any kind of fun or hungry time, it's always a perfect time for the party platter from your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe. 20 crispy buffalo wings, 20 hot and spicy wings, fried pickles, cheese sticks, jalapeno poppers, mini corn dogs, jumbo breast strips, and spicy jumbo dippers. It feeds a crowd for only $34.99, and you get $3 off if you call and order one at least a day ahead. It's party time at your Sagersville Lee's.
Car wrecks, truck wreck, disability, workers' comp, slip and fall, wrongful death. Your case matters to you.
Your case matters to us. Contact McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Heart disease. It's the leading cause of death for men and women, taking 1 of every 4 lives. And it's not just affecting older adults anymore. Obesity, high blood pressure, and smoking are causing heart disease in those as young as 35. But the good news is it can often be prevented with good choices, like letting the professionals at Hope Family Medical Center help you manage and improve your condition. February is American Heart Month, and the providers at Hope are ready to help you with good choices, which are as simple as calling, coming in, or attending their chronic disease self-management program every Wednesday in February at the Lakefront Church of God. Big Sandy Healthcare and Hope Family Medical Center want you to love your heart. Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. The flu and flu-like illnesses are widespread in Kentucky, and they're not going away anytime soon. So odds are, if you aren't or haven't been sick, you likely will be. And Parkway Pharmacy has exactly what we all need to fight it and any other cold or illness. From immune boosters for adults and children as young as 2 to all-natural homeopathics made right here in the United States of America. They can help prevent you from getting sick or get you fast relief if you already are. With great tasting and easy-taking gummies, powdered mixes, rapid-melting fruity tablets, and syrups at Parkway Pharmacy. To arrest very early this morning at around 4:30 after a man from Paintsville was coming through Sagersville, attempted to, or at least thought about, eluding authorities very early this morning. He is now charged with carrying a concealed deadly weapon after a knife and brass knuckles were found on his person. He's also facing serious drug-related charges as well as a result of being in possession of a significant amount of crystal methamphetamine and heroin. A correction, there was only one arrest, that of the driver of a vehicle stopped early this morning by Officer Mike Nichols of the Sagersville Police Department after the passenger cooperated with authorities and was not believed to be involved in the drug activity. Nichols' citation says that around 4:30 this morning he saw a vehicle with 2 men inside, and he noticed that the license plate on the vehicle wasn't properly illuminated, and just seconds later he saw the vehicle either hit or cross the double yellow line. And he tried to make a traffic stop near the Sagersville Wendy's, but the vehicle went on and continued on all the way to the junction of 460, where it got onto 460 and then drove about another mile before finally pulling over for Nichols. Inside were 2 men, the driver identified as a Tyler Runnels of Paintsville, a passenger who actually told Officer Nichols that he believed Runnels was trying to run and was going to continue to give chase, but that he talked him out of it. The passenger also claimed ownership of the vehicle. As for the driver, he initially gave Nichols false information, a false name, a false address, a false social security number. He was asked out of the vehicle, given a pat down. He found a needle and other drug paraphernalia on his person, and consent to search the vehicle was given. That's where the officer found what he describes as a baseball-sized rock of crystal methamphetamine, needles, 2 bags of heroin, 3 to 4 tubes of albuterol, which one of the men claimed, or Runnels claimed, to use with the heroin for a better high or effect. The driver failed all field sobriety tests and then was taken to the hospital but refused blood there. And once he was taken to the Big Sandy jail, before being booked, he was found with 3 packs of heroin in his pants. So we expect that he will be charged in Johnson County with promoting contraband and possession of the heroin, in addition to the charges that Nichols filed last night here locally: DUI and the third operating on a DUI suspended license, possession of the meth, possession of the heroin, and other counts. He's still lodged in the Big Sandy jail at this time. Now for a situation that unfolded earlier this afternoon in McGoffin County on Route 40 on Blanton Road, which is just near the power substation there on Route 40 near the Falcon area. We will hopefully talk more to those who were there and involved very soon, because this is a situation that one that we feel, as it appears to be right now, all of the public, especially those who use this particular model of rifle possibly, should be very well aware of. I actually just got off the phone with a family member just a few moments ago, not even enough time to prep a telephone interview or otherwise, but to get some factual information about an incident in which a family is claiming that a newly purchased rifle that they just bought last night, a new weapon, had malfunctioned earlier today, seriously, possibly critically injuring a McGoffin County man. Larry Blanton and his son, who was off of work and with him today testing out a newly purchased gun, were at Larry's residence earlier today off of Route 40 when the unimaginable, I think, they say, happened. Earlier this afternoon, behind his residence, Larry and his son Ronald, who was off for the day, were sighting in, they tell me, a new Remington 770 that Larry had just bought last night at an area Walmart. The price tag, said authorities who were there earlier today, was still attached to the gun. So they were shooting this weapon earlier today, sighting it in or for target practice, what have you. Now this is what the family tells me actually happened. Now, the initial call over 911 was during all the confusion that Larry had been shot in the face, accidentally or by someone else. That was simply not the case. What is the case is, according to them, that the weapon appears to have, or the round, I can't say for sure, but there appears to have been a malfunction. The family tells me that while loading the weapon, now this is what I was told, while putting a shell in and advancing it, they heard a click, and an instant later, it discharged, fired, and thus exploded. In doing so, a portion of the bolt of the gun fractured and lodged in his upper chest. Initially, they thought it was stuck in his neck, but due to the way he was laying and the position he was in, it was just simply hard to tell. Till they got him to the Pikeville Medical Center, ultimately is where he was transported to by ambulance. An air medical unit was called, but the EMS with TranStar Ambulance Service elected to take him on by ground. And ultimately, he ended up at Pikeville Medical Center. He was in surgery at around 4:45 when I was speaking to the family. They had no update on his condition or injuries at the time. Surgeons were still uncertain as to the extent of his injuries until they got him into the operating room. But the family did confirm that they had removed a portion of the bolt of the gun from his upper chest, and that they were doing surgery to make repairs for his injuries. Once again, this was a Remington 770 that was purchased just last night. And I've also reached out to the Blanton family, and upon their convenience, we hope to sit down with one or all of them and find out more about this truly bizarre situation that has seriously injured a McGoffin County man and what they claim to be a malfunctioning weapon and or round loaded into the gun. I certainly hope to have an update with some good news on his condition on tomorrow's program. With that said, more headlines in a few moments. Right now, a few calendar announcements, starting off with a couple of special wishes tonight, all brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Anniversary wishes going out tonight to Taylor and Stasha Blanton from a host of family and friends. Happy anniversary to you both. And birthday wishes tonight going out to, from your dad, who stopped by and said please wish her the best. Happy birthday, Brittany Russell. Happy birthday to you. And just a couple of quick announcements in tonight's calendar. Don't forget the McGoffin County Teen Coalition has their regular monthly meeting this week. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock at the McGoffin County Health Department. Everyone is invited to attend. And the Water into Wine Food Pantry will be open for business this week, Wednesday and Thursday, from 8:30 till 3, both days. Commodities can only be picked up on Thursday after 12:30. And clients receiving commodities will need to be recertified this month. And you need to get your announcement here if you want everyone to know about it. And that counts for birthdays and anniversaries too. Turning to funeral service announcements, services were held Saturday for Linville Salyer, 78 of Higgins Branch, who passed away on the 15th, preceded in death by his wife, Margie Lee Back Salyer. He survived by sons Linville Jr. and Lindsell Salyer and daughters Patricia Joseph and Glenda Warren. 81-year-old Mandy Ethel Cantrell Mead of Mine Fork passed away yesterday. She was preceded in death by her husband, Dan, and she's survived by sons Willie and Ludi and Marvin and James, and daughters Mandy Butcher and Shirley Bailey. Visitation is tonight, all day tomorrow, and up until Wednesday's services that will start at 2 o'clock from the Flat Fork Free Will Baptist Church. The Montgomery County Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And 54-year-old Letitia Basham Slusher of Cane Drive passed away today, married to Ronnie Slusher, who preceded her in death. She's survived by sons Chad Basham and Jesse Reisner and a daughter, Diana McKenzie. Visitation will be after 6 o'clock this Wednesday and all day Thursday, and prior to Friday's services that will start at 1 from the Montgomery County Funeral Home.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Eastern Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Sayersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
Just in at Parkway Gun and Pawn, and everybody was eyeing this one. A lever action Adler Arms 410. And this Maverick over and under 12 gauge. Another over and under 12 gauge by TriStar. And if you're looking for something air-powered but still potent, this Ruger 22 caliber rifle will have you covered. And this Gamma 177 is just in stock. And they've got the latest in personal protection in all the calibers and in all the names and styles that you're looking for. And they won't last long at Parkway Gun and Pawn, 349 Pawn. Check out the newest arrivals at Gateway Motors, like this 06 twin-turbo V8 all-wheel drive Range Rover. This 06 Jeep Commander, full-size, trail-rated luxury. This 05 GMC Yukon with third-row, heated seats, loaded up. And they've got an 08 Nissan Frontier, 4-wheel drive, V6 automatic with only 122,000 miles. And this 06 F-150 has 119,000 original miles. And you can drive off in any or all of these for about $200 a month at Gateway Motors in Sayersville, 349 Cars. Here's what's hot this week at your Sayersville ShopRite. Chicken leg quarters family packs 59 cents a pound. And strawberries 1 pound package is only $2.49. Little Debbie muffins 2 boxes $4. Bone-in pork sirloin roast just 89 cents a pound. And Bar S hot dogs are just 69 cents a pack. And get 12 packs of Pepsi products, 3 for $11. Price is good only through Tuesday, February the 19th at your Sayersville Save-A-Lot, and be sure to check out their new website at savergroup.com. At Sayersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sayersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sayersville National.
Appalachian Wireless is transforming the way you upgrade your smartphone. Trade in, trade up, and experience the benefits of Appalachian Wireless's trade-in program. Head into any Appalachian Wireless retail location or go to AppalachianWireless.com to get an estimate on your device. Use or apply your device credit towards your new Appalachian Wireless device or account. It's that simple. Just another way Appalachian Wireless proves better service and bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
2 things in sports tonight. They did not bring home the cash and the trophy, but they did set a national record, which is usually how it works for the Connolly racing team. As I told you really briefly last week, was headed down to the Lights Out 10 event in South Georgia. Martin and Eddie and the team rolled back into Sayersville, I think, like at 6 o'clock this morning, so I didn't call for an interview. I figured they might be trying to get some rest. But we've got plenty of opportunities. This is the first of a 5-race series in the DXP 235 class across the nation that they'll be participating in. So we've got plenty of opportunities, and there are going to be a lot of other races too. This is really the first big one of the season, but the Lights Out event down in South Georgia is a big event. Racers from all over the nation, a lot of quick cars. And this Mustang owned by Eddie and, of course, driven by Martin, was one of them. Even though they didn't make it to the finals, the sun came out for the first time in days. Track got a little slick, spun the tires coming out of the hole, and they were done in the semis. But nevertheless, we do have to note, I don't know which run it was, but they set a class record with this car at this track this weekend. They ran a 5:03 at 138 miles per hour. So they set a class record for the ET. They also, in another run, went 140 miles per hour, but a lower ET, and set a class record for the fastest run as well. So I would call that still a good weekend, a national record set. It's not their first either. So with that said, they're going to Bowling Green, I think, is their next one, then Ohio Valley. I'll get a schedule, and we'll follow them a little later on, but once again, still very early in the season, just now getting underway. But what a great start. This is a new setup for them as they've gone to a pro-charged unit with this Mustang. It's really proven effective, and one they'll just have to continue to tweak just a little bit. But good job, guys. Thanks for the video, too. Also, over the weekend and on the road, a state championship title brought back to McGoffin County by the high school dance team. You can look for more on these ladies in this week's Sagersville Independent, because we'll be doing a little write-up, a big write-up on the latest state title held by the McGoffin County High School dance team. In fact, by my math, Coach Andrea Preston and her teams over the last 8 years have on 7 occasions won a state title. One year I think they won 2. And this year they got a second place over the course of the weekend in Palm, and a second place in Jazz. And for the prop category, which you see here and you have seen at ball games, they are now state champions again. Look for more on these ladies this Thursday. Now on to your weather, with the exception of a little bit of a wintry mix out there today and some snowfall that didn't really amount to anything at all. We saw relatively a dry day afterwards, but rain is moving into the area tomorrow night, heavy at times, and heavy enough to add up to possibly a couple of inches or more before one round just gets out of town in time for another. Multiple, and I mean multiple, disturbances are expected to roll across the viewing area and a large portion, if not all, of eastern Kentucky this week, and some of those are going to bring about some large amounts of moisture and rain, resulting in several rounds of moderate to heavy rainfall. The first of those rounds is expected tomorrow night and into the day on Thursday, during which anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rainfall is in the forecast. And there could be some locally higher amounts in some areas that might see some thunderstorms late Wednesday into Wednesday evening. And additional rounds of moderate to heavy rain also possible from late Friday into early Sunday. Still, that's a little too far out to give any exact timing and location and potential rainfall totals, but it looks to be headed this way. And given the abundance of moisture and rain that we've had over the last few weeks, the ground is obviously already well saturated. So it's not going to take much in the forecast to cause flooding of creeks, streams, and rivers by the middle and end of the week. So we'll all be keeping our eye on that, as well as the threat of mud and rock slides that we have seen an abundance of for the past several weeks because of so much rain. So for your forecast tonight, 25 and mostly cloudy skies, but dry for now. A wind out of the northwest from 5 to 7, becoming calm later on after midnight. Tomorrow we'll start off on a dry note. A 10% chance of some rain after 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so we'll see a partly sunny Tuesday. But then rain will be on the increase, a likelihood tomorrow night, maybe even a little snow after 10 o'clock or midnight or so. New snow accumulations less than 1/2 inch. But that rain will continue on into Wednesday, with east-southeast winds Wednesday up to 15 miles per hour at times. And Wednesday right now, that's when we'll see the bulk of the rain. 1 to 2 inches, a little more, a little less, possibly a little more. And showers are likely and thunderstorms Wednesday night possible as well. And Thursday, I think maybe by noon or so, we'll start to calm down and start to dry up with mostly cloudy skies and 54 degrees. Friday, a bit of a break for a very few hours, 52 on your Friday, but by Friday evening, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, rain makes its way back into the forecast. It will continue to rain Friday night into your Saturday night, and still a 50% chance of showers on your Sunday. And Monday, hopefully a little bit of an improving pattern, but we'll have to wait and see. And that will wrap it up for tonight. I'm sitting here on a Monday wondering how I'm going to get all the news that I have in the rest of this week. So join us tomorrow to find out, and we'll get started then. For now, thank you for watching, and have a good night.